All right, my love. So we're starting World War II, 1939 to 1945. 1939 is the invasion of Poland, which we'll talk about in a minute. And 1945 is the end of the war. The United States joins the war in 1941 after the Japanese invasion of Pearl Harbor. So we're going to start in Europe. Basically, this whole story has two different theaters. Theaters means areas. So you've got the Pacific Theater and the European Theater. So we're going to start in the European Theater because it really begins first. There are a few dictators who gain power that we need to talk about. One of them is Hitler, which I'm sure you guys obviously know about. He is the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany, and he comes to power in 1933. He has a friend, sort of a friend, Stalin, who, his name is Joseph Stalin. He is the dictator of Russia, and he eventually becomes a communist leader. He actually killed more Jews than Hitler did, but he doesn't get as much credit because he didn't do it in quite the exciting way. But Stalin's definitely not a great guy. Mussolini is the dictator of Italy. He is fascist, which is similar to communism, but a little bit different. Tojo is leader of Japan, and he is a military leader, so he has full military control. Obviously, Japan in general is a very militaristic area and a very militaristic state. So these are your main dictators. Hitler, Mussolini, and Tojo begin the battle or begin the war as allies. Stalin gets invaded by Hitler in 1939. So he thought they were friends, but they're actually not friends because, Hitler just invades his country. So it all starts, we're going to skip over here, in 1933. Hitler comes to power. He forms what's called the Nazi Party. He basically says that he wants to make Germany great again. They've suffered from the Great Depression, and they've experienced a lot of difficult things. So he basically says, I'm going to make Germany great again. The way that we do that is by basically getting rid of anybody who's not pure-blood German. So if you're not blonde hair and blue-eyed, actually pure-blood German, which Hitler actually wasn't, then he essentially wanted to get rid of you. In 1935, he begins to put people in concentration camps, collection camps, ghettos, collection areas, and we'll talk about this more, but 1935 is 4 years before the war even starts, and he's already, putting people in camps and organizing people and dividing people. And a lot of people don't know that, but he began a long time before World War II actually started. But in 1939, he invades Poland. They were his neighboring country, or they still are his neighboring country. And he also invades Russia, even though they have a peace agreement to not, be aggressive toward each other. He invades both these places. As soon as he invades Poland, basically this starts the war. He invaded with a force called a Blitzkrieg, which we'll talk about, but it was a very quick force. It was German. It was established simply to invade quickly. It involved a lot of tanks, fast-moving tanks, and we struggled. The Allies struggled to fight and defeat this force for most of the war. So it was a well-advanced, well-developed force. England and France declare war on Germany. They feel like Hitler is, jeopardizing the rest of Europe's security and the rest of Europe's safety. So the war basically begins on two fronts. You have the Western Front and you have the Eastern Front. The Western Front is the border between Germany and France, and the Eastern Front is the border between Germany and Russia. France, England, the United Kingdom, and Russia are all allies for right now. So in Europe, in that theater, you have the Western and the Eastern fronts. So you've kind of got a little bit of an organization structure. All right. So the Axis powers. The Axis powers are the, quote, bad guys. You've got Germany, Japan, and Italy. The allies include the United Kingdom, France, Belgium. The United States enters in 1941, and then Russia. Canada and Australia also fight on our side, but they don't join until a little bit later, and Russia leaves the war prior to it actually ending. So this is the foundational part. We're going to go a little bit more into detail on different aspects of it, and then we'll have a few more videos on the Pacific Front and what actually happened in Pearl Harbor and all that kind of stuff. But here, that's your intro to the European side.